This approach was chosen because it allows concepts to be presented in a way that starts basic and becomes more in-depth. Each concept has a verbal and physical representation. The ideas are connected and everyone takes an active approach. Plus, who doesn't love using food as an example?
The topic is significant because the mitochondria in the NADH-CoQ enzyme is present in humans along with other plants and animals. Without them, we would not be able to survive because we need ATP as an energy source.
Ever get worn down when you're running? Feel like you're out of shape with no explanation? You might look like this guy. He went to the doctor last week and learned it's not his fault. His mitochondria look something like this. This healthy girl who flew by earlier and is already back from her run has mitochondria that looks like this. Turns out your mitochondria are quite important.
This is a model of the whole eukaryotic animal cell, filled with organelles protected by the cell membrane. We're going to focus on the mitochondria.
This fancy structure is the inside half of mitochondria. This organelle is not part of the cell's endomembrane system and, unlike most organelles, has its own genetic material. The mitochondria are the main energy-producing organelles, making ATP to drive many of the reactions in the body. This here is the outer membrane, and this here is the inner membrane. The space inside the membrane folds is known as the matrix, and this is where ATP production occurs. So here's the ATP, and these string-like structures are the cell's DNA. There are also other small structures found in the matrix, such as ribosomes and granules. So yeah, pretty cool organelle.
NADH-CoQ reductase is a transmembrane protein vital to the mitochondria. This means it's also vital to your life. This enzyme is important during the electron transport chain as NADH-CoQ accepts electrons and pumps protons across the inner mitochondrial membrane. The proton gradient is then used during ATP synthesis to make ATP. Since it is present in the inner mitochondrial membrane, this means if there are no NADH-CoQ reductases, then the mitochondria cannot properly produce ATP.
A malfunction in NADH-CoQ reductase can cause a disorder called mitochondrial myopathy. Mitochondrial myopathy typically shows up before the age of 20, showing itself in exercise intolerance and muscle weakness. There is not much that can be done for this, and, depending on the severity, it can cause death. Vitamin therapy, such as CoQ10, can help some people, but not all, with muscle breakdown associated with mitochondrial myopathy.